Welcome back to another episode of Flipping Tables. My name is Sean.
And I'm Tico.
And today we're going to be looking at the prototype for Starframe. It's going to hit Kickstarter very soon. All of the components in here, of course, could change by the time it releases. But right now, it's looking like a great game. Let's have a look at what this looks like. So this is the overall look of the game. This is the setup. This is actually what the game looks like as you're playing it. Each player chooses a character.
Yeah.
There are different character cards in here. We could have a mechanic, a frame breaker, a hacker, a smuggler, or you can play as, this is the enemy card. If you're going to play solo mode, this is the character you're going to be playing against. And there is also a pirate as well.
And your pilot, of course.
Pirate and the pilot. These cards are also double-sided, so if you want to play a more advanced game, you would use the one that actually has a skill. Each character has a different skill that you can perform every turn. So if, as a beginner, it's suggested you use the one without the extra.
Makes it a little bit easier, one less thing to think through.
Without the extra skill on it. So the Starframe, as the title suggests, is your spaceship. Here we have a Starframe that is ready to go. Each player starts with one card from the bridge, the left auxiliary, the frame, the right auxiliary, and the engine. You're going to choose one of each of those cards, and you're going to put together your frame, matching these hard yellow points together in any way you want. So that yellow point there meets up with the yellow point there, and these two pieces can go together.
You can get some really messed up ships if you really want to.
Yes. Oh, yes. You can have a maximum of 9 of these Starframe pieces, ship parts. So you can consistently take more parts and add them on as you can. Yep. You can add another frame in here.
Steal them.
Add more wings on. You can steal from your opponents as you play through. The icons on these ships is what your energy is to start with. So whether it's your warp action, boost. your boost, armor,
power.
And power. Thank you.
Yeah.
So my ship gives me a starting boost of 8, defense of 7, and power of 6. Did I say that right, Tico?
Almost. You said defense instead of armor, but that's fine.
Defense. Armor gives you defense.
Well, yeah.
You also have a 2-sided location marker. It's going to switch between station and space, depending on where you are. And so you just slide that onto the edge to show where you are. Everybody starts at the station. And the idea here is you are trying to gather this hypermatter. And you want to gather the most hypermatter before the ship sinks into the black hole, before the space station.
5 rounds.
5 rounds. Once you hit the final round, whoever has the most hypermatter then bids to get off the station before it gets sucked into the black hole, and everyone else is left there to die.
Right.
So
most space stations, that's how they work.
That's how it works, right?
Whoever the richest get off first.
That's right.
That's how it works.
There are also droid cards. Droid cards give you actions such as hijacking a part from your opponent. You can flee an invader card, which we'll talk about in a minute. You can use it to take a free action, because every turn you have 3 actions you can perform. This gives you essentially a 4th action. Escape capsule. This allows you to bank your hypermatter without going back to the station. Very, very powerful card right there. Yeah. Warp travel. This allows you to travel from space to the station without ending your turn. Normally, if you travel to the station or into space, that's the end of your turn. There are no more actions left after that. And finally, there is the option to modify your ship even if you're in space. In order to modify your ship, like taking another card, and once you have a card, to attach it to your ship, that's a modify action. This allows you to do it for free. Even if you're in space, normally if you're in space, you can't do that.
Back to the station in order to do that.
So those are great cards to have in your hand, and you're going to take one of those cards every turn. Very simply, if you're in the station, you're going to start your phase, draw a droid card, bank any hypermatter you pulled on your previous turn, and then you do 3 of these possible actions. Draw a part, modify your Starframe, bank any hypermatter. In case you've come back for free back to the station, you now have the option to bank your hypermatter immediately. You can steal cargo from someone else before they've banked it. or you can travel to space, which ends your turn.
Yeah. Nice thing is you can also do multiple of the same action as
Oh
well.
yeah, absolutely. And if you're in space, similarly, you draw a droid card. So every turn you're going to get a new droid card,
Yeah.
which is an ability or an action or something you can do. You then have to defend the station. In
Which
order
is
to
fun.
defend the station, that's a lot of fun. You roll one of the black dice. I rolled a 4, which means 4 of these invaders come out, and you must fight them.
You must satisfy their requirements.
At the top of each card, you can see there are energy requirements. So I must, in order to defeat this one right here, I must spend 4 red and 1 green. So 4 red takes me down to there, 1 green takes me there. I've successfully defeated him.
He goes into your cargo
He goes
hold.
into my cargo hold because he will now give me hypermatter. So that goes into my cargo hold. I must go through and I must defeat them if I can. If I can't, I can try to flee them. I will take damage on my ship if I cannot satisfy that.
This die.
Yeah, to see
which shows you where your damage is going to hit
right.
your
So
ship.
if I took damage, I would roll that, and that is damage on my left. I would actually lose this item, which decreases my energy because I've lost that item. So that is what you must do if you're in space. You must fight the invaders in order to defend the station. If you've survived that, you may then try to claim a planet, which gives you resources. You must spend the resource in order to claim that card. So if I spent the 7 and 4, I would then gain that. It would go into my cargo hold and give me 4 hypermatter.
As well as one additional droid card.
One additional droid card immediately. Whatever is in the middle, you gain. Hypermatter does not count towards your score until you've banked it once you're back to the station. You can also decide to go into the abyss. This is like the planet. They're going to give you rewards, much higher rewards, but they're typically more expensive, and you don't know what you're going to get. If I decide to try this card, I have dedicated to doing this card. I turn it over. Now I must spend 6 red, 5 green in order to get 5 hypermatter, 1 droid card, and 2 ship parts of my choice. And I can choose from either of these 5 piles of which ship parts I want to take. If I am successful, I bank it. If I'm not successful, it's the same as not being successful from the invader. I roll the die to see what damage I take and which ship part is removed.
Dismissed.
There are 5 turns. Once everybody has done one of their rounds, one of their turns, their turn ends. Back to the first player, the marker goes down, the round marker, and everything. We do that again in turn. Overall, I mean, the quality of these components really nice.
Yeah.
Even these center cards, these are really thick.
They're thicker cards,
nice,
which I like.
thick,
They're
almost
not that sort of...
almost plastic.
Yeah.
These ones. Even though that's just the round counter, but these are nice card stock. They're simple. It's a nice planet. It's got the information on it you want. I don't think you need much more than that. To be honest with you,
that. It's very not simplistic, but it's very easy to read.
Absolutely.
You know exactly what you're getting when you look at. You know how many points it's worth. You know how much it's going to cost you, and you know what rewards you're getting immediately.
Exactly. I really enjoyed this game. There's a lot of strategy involved. You're really thinking through the spending of your resources. I just want to point out the max icon here is really nice. This shows you, based on your Starframe, this is where you get your energy from. So as you keep adding to it, your max is going to move up. So if I found something with another, like say 2 more green, my max would then move up too. And at the end of your turn, all your resources go back to their max line. So I thought these little max tokens were really great. You don't have to keep adding up what you've got to find out how far they go.
So just in case you forget where you need to put it back to.
Exactly.
And you know where you can get to.
And you're spending those every turn to do something.
Yeah.
And so that's your currency, essentially. I really enjoyed the strategy of this. And it was really close. You and I played. I think one of the rounds was I had 32 and you had 38.
Yeah.
So it was very close. Very, a little bit back and forth. There are some take that mechanics, stealing cargo, stealing ship parts. There are ways to block it as well. If you want to, you could have there are cards that allow you to stop that action from happening altogether.
Yeah, it's making sure you have the right cards in your hand at the right time. There's some great cards that allow you to bank your bank your
Hypermatter.
hypermatter
Immediately.
which
Yeah.
is like, because if you get attacked, it can be stolen.
Yes.
It can be, if your ship gets destroyed, you lose it. And so, being able to sort of strategize and make sure that you
Yes.
have the right cards to go through at the right time is key.
It's really, really. I was kind of shocked at, it looks like a simple layout. It really looks like a simple layout, but this is far from simple strategically. It's a wonderful strategy game. You really are thinking through your turn to maximize what you can do that turn, using your cards in your hand strategically to maybe gain you an extra action, because one of your actions while in space is to max out one of your energy. That's a turn though. It's like if I need more blue, I see, okay, I need more blue to take that planet. I'm good with green, but I need blue. I can, as a choice, increase my blue back to max and then spend it accordingly. So, just thinking through the options of what it is you need to do to really gain the most hypermatter by the end of the game.
And bank it.
That's all there is to it. Like, really, the only goal is hypermatter.
Right.
Gaining the most hypermatter.
Yeah, the size of your ship doesn't matter. Whatever you've left over, the
size doesn't matter.
Size doesn't matter. In space, size doesn't matter.
That's right.
That's the same, right?
As well as people can't hear you scream. Starframe, I think it's fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I love the idea of building the ship out and gaining your energy based on your ship. I love the fighting the invaders. It is so random. Be having to roll the die to see how many invaders. Like, you could get 6 invaders, you're not always guaranteed to be able to fight them all off.
Yeah.
They're fairly cheap to fight off, typically.
Some of them. We get some pretty high ones.
Yeah, but typically once you've upgraded your ship, and that's why you want to keep adding to your ship and to get more energy.
You're giving yourself more firepower.
Exactly. So there's I love it. I keep saying strategy. It is definitely a strategic game. It may look like a simple game, but it is far from simple.
Yeah.
And if that's the kind of game you're looking for, I would definitely check this out. It's coming to Kickstarter soon. Again, that is Starframe, and everything you're seeing here is the prototype. So artwork and things like that could change by the time you see it in the wild. But definitely check it out. And look for our episode of Kicking Tables. We'll be talking to the creator of this game to learn a little bit more about it. So until then, have fun, everyone. Thanks everybody for watching Flipping Tables. If you like that, check out our other videos. There's a bunch of videos over there, and there is the subscribe button right down below. We'd love it if you hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell notification icon. We are putting out content all the time. Thanks for checking us out.